Howard, you ready for that? All right. It's still a couple minutes before noon, so we are live, but I wanted to make sure that people had a chance to join. They are coming in from the outside. Hi, Elias.
Hello.
Welcome.
I'm trying this from my phone.
So far, so good. All right, so we are live, and I will go ahead and start the training. This is, in fact, our third Hangout doing Google training, and today we're covering aspects of Google Drive, and along with Google Drive, Google Docs, and those functionalities. Google Drive is the central repository for all chapter files, so it's absolutely critical that we all know how to use it and use it well. So that's what we're doing today, making sure you've got access, making sure you know how to add files to it, how to edit files, and use Drive, just as you do on your computer. So you're used to using different folders on your computer already, whether you're on a PC or a Mac. And this is exactly the same, except it includes a cloud version. So here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over. I'm going to screen share now and go over to our a version of our Drive and begin the training. We do have Q&A turned on for the Hangout, so if you are if you join, please use the Q&A. You'll have the question will come up and I'll be able to answer it. Or if you're on the call, welcome Lauren and Elias and Leighton and Ben. If you're on the call and have a question, you can also use the chat feature, and Ben will forward those questions to me. So thanks everybody for being here, and off we go. You will see a little bit of a weird screen as I switch over to the screen share for our site. So should be seeing this our basic admin email, correct? And so I can't see you anymore, so I'm just going to have to send anything to Ben, and he will come tap me on the shoulder or yell at me. He's in the room with me. So what we're looking at right away is as a typical inbox. So you should be used to that. I think most everyone has been able to access our Google account and be able to use it from the MPI THCC.org Google Apps. But just as a reminder, you can access the site just by going to google.com. You can access Drive by going to drive.google.com, or you can access your Google account or your Gmail account, as we've discussed in the past, and get to it that way. So, for instance, here we are. We're in the chapter administrators folder. I can go here to this grid, click on the grid, and Drive is one of the options. So when I click on that, it's going to take me to my Drive. Now your Drive may look a little bit different than this, and that's okay. And there's just a couple of features that we want to look at. So this is My Drive. So you can see up over here in the left-hand corner, My Drive. Also, there are some other options, shared with me, starred, recent, trash, and actually more. There's also another component to this called Install Drive for your computer. And let me talk about that for just a little bit. If you install Drive for your computer, then you have access to the items that are in your Drive, as a folder on your computer, whether you use a PC or a Mac. It will look like a folder just like any folder on your C drive on a PC or in your documents on a Macintosh. And you can access those files just as you would, any other file or folder on your PC or Mac. The advantage is that it syncs all the time, with your Air version, with your cloud version of Google Drive, and I find it very handy. The downside is that your Google Drive, if you download it for your computer, only links to one account. So for instance, we have our attendee management account. That is what we originally downloaded as the drive, and so for us to have MPI folders on that drive, we actually have to share it, with that folder. And so there are ways to do it. If you want to do it, if it's something that is important to you, if you have other drives that you use, please call me or Ben or Leighton, and we will help you with that. It comes in very handy. But even if you don't use the drive on your PC, you've always got it in the cloud. It's because it is in the cloud no matter what computer you are, as long as you have internet access, on your tablet, on your phone, you can access this information. Now on your phone or tablet, you go to the store, go to either the Google Play or go to the Apple Store and download Google Drive. You can also download Sheets, you can download Docs, so you can have access to all of this information remotely and mobily if you so prefer. But that's a whole different lesson. So once we're here, there's one other thing that is that Google is doing, and they have updated Drive. And so what we're looking at right now is the old version. And so if you go up to the little gear up in the upper right-hand corner, the settings, if you click on the settings, one of the things that you can do is experience the new drive. And the new drive is going to do things a little bit different. It looks pretty much the same, but functionality is a little bit different. For instance, instead of shared with me, it's going to be incoming. Recent is the same. Those are things that you've recently opened. Also on the new version, there's something. There actually a couple of fewer items, so it has a little bit of a different look and feel. I would suggest that you go ahead and experience the new drive. Go ahead and do that. Get it set up on your system and get used to using it, because Google's going to change it over pretty soon anyway, and that's just the way it's going to be. One real advantage to going into the new drive version is that we are going to be able to go directly into like a Word document and edit it from Drive, which we can't do right now. Right now we have to download that file, do the editing, upload it back into the Drive, and it's kind of a hassle. But in the near future, we'll be able to do that directly from Drive, so that's pretty exciting. So those are the primary differences, and just basically what we've seen is we've got the shared with me, which is going to be incoming. Basically what we try to do is anything that's shared with me, and this could be coming from a different board member or for the outside. If it's shared with me, it's not immediately available there because you always default to my drive. But if you have something that that you just really always want readily available, you can just say, add to my, click it and add to my drive, and then it's going to start showing up here. Also, I use starred items, fairly much. So if I don't have it set up here on the chapter administrator folder, but I do on my personal one. You can star items and have them be able to click on this starred tab and they're readily available. Recent is just what it sounds like. I can go in and look at all the most recent things, so it's everything that has been last opened in chronological order. So if you're not sure about that document that you were working on, but you know it was like a couple of days ago, this is a quick way to find it. Trash obviously is trash, but do go in and empty the trash every once in a while. Now, one thing to be aware of is that when you are working in a collaborative environment like Google Drive or any of the Google Docs or Google Apps, if you do something in your drive, you have to make sure that you're not doing it to everybody's drive. So before you trash something and then delete your trash, think really hard about whether that's something that is just pertains to you and you're going to get rid of it and nobody else cares, or whether you are throwing away a folder that is, you know, critical to the chapter only because you don't want it on your drive. So be careful about trash. So back to my drive. When we're starting to work in here, there are a couple of things that, you know, we need to talk about. You know, saving your work. Well, one of the nice things about Google is it saves it all the time. You don't necessarily have to remember to save it. Collaborating on work, and our preference is that for now, certainly, always start in Drive when you're working on documents. So if you've got a new document to create, so let's say you're creating a form that you want to have accessible to all others, and especially if you need input from others, then definitely go in and start by creating it in Drive. So for instance, if I wanted to create a new document for a board retreat, I'm going to create an invitation for a board retreat. Well, the first thing I would want to do is I would go into the board retreats folder, and maybe there's a folder for the, you know, 2014 or the 2015 mid-year. So we can go up here and create, and when I hit the create button, it gives me an option to create either a new folder or a new document, which is a word processing document, a new presentation, which is their version of like PowerPoint, a spreadsheet, which is their Excel, or a form. And forms are a lot of fun because forms allow you to collect information online and then be able to report back out on it. So our board reports, for instance, are created as a Google form. You enter your board information for the month prior into that form, and then it shows up in a Google spreadsheet, which we can then use. So let's just say I'm going to create a folder for the December December 2014 board retreat. So create and share. When I say create and share, it's going to take on the same sharing properties that are built into this this particular folder. So that you find by clicking over here on the arrow and coming down to the share button and just say, okay, well, who is this being shared with? Well, it's being shared with everyone, you know, in the chapter, and then just to make sure, we go in and make sure that everybody is shared individually. So that allows you to go in and edit. Now, with sharing and collaboration, you know, you can set up a folder that is completely private, or between you and two committee members, and nobody else. It won't even show up on anybody else's drive. You know, and then you can add people, or you can be very selective in a specific document that that everybody can look at it, but only a couple of people can actually edit it. So that's all up to you and whatever is required of your business with the chapter. So if I open this, there's nothing in here now, but I want to create a new document. So I'm going to create a document. I want to have it shared with the same functionality. And it's just a blank slate at this point. So if I click up here, I can title it. I can say, you know, retreat agenda. And so now we've got it labeled, and then I can just start putting stuff in. So how you just do it the same way you would do any other like a Word document. And Lauren has a question: what will my new form already created in Excel do once I put it in Drive? I would prefer not to recreate it. That's a really good question. So Lauren has been working on a travel expense reimbursement form and created it in Excel. And most of the time, you can convert an Excel document or a Word document or even a PowerPoint document into a Google Doc, and it transfers over pretty well. Sometimes there's some formatting issues that need to be cleaned up. Other times it may mess up a formula, it may do some other things. But if you've already created it in Excel, the first thing I do is I go in and I try to convert it to a Google Doc, and I see how it works. If everything works great, or if it just needs a little minor tweaking, then that's great. We've got it as a Google document. And then remember, any document that you create in Google, if you go up to the File menu and say Download As, it's going to ask you within that framework, whether like a Word document, it's going to say, well, do you want to download it as a Word doc? Okay, that's fine. If you're in the spreadsheet program, and it'll say, do you want to download it as an Excel document? So what we're trying to get people to think about, though, is if you start in Google and you create the document in Google, then we've got it here. It's collaborative. I mean, I can share it with people. You can comment on it. Ben, can you join me in this document? Can you go into the board retreats and find this document? And we're going to see exactly what happens when that happens. So we can be working on a document together and collaborate that way, and even have comments and chat with our Google apps. We have there's a built-in chat program, which stupidly is also called Hangouts. But you can do a Hangout. So Ben just joined. So since Ben has just joined, I'm showing up here in the green as Texas Hill, and if I type along, then that shows me, and then Ben can come along behind, and that's Ben typing. Now if he was signed in as Ben at AttendeeNet, and was coming into the program, then his picture would actually show up here, and we'd be able to see it. So that's that on that. I'm just going to go ahead and close out of this. It's automatically saved, as we can see right here. All changes saved in Drive. We've got basically all the formatting tools. If we want to insert an image like the logo, we just go in and find it on the drive, and I'll just grab one, and it's going to insert the logo there. Nice and easy. Move it around, do whatever I want. Just pretty much like what you do in Word. So, and I can go in and say, well, I want to wrap the text, and it'll do it that way. Or I want to break the text, it'll do it that way. I want to increase the margin. So it does give you a lot of control over what it's going to look like. It does not have all of the features of Word, but it has most of what we need. So closing this one out, I'm going to go back in here and say that we want to be able to do now same deal. I'm going to create a presentation. Well, the presentation is going to be the the onboarding document. So I just create it. I've got all these options that I can choose from, very much like what you're used to in PowerPoint. The difference is that we can all be working on it at the same time. Spreadsheets are are very handy. And by the way, I wanted to readdress what Lauren was talking about with her form. Well, Lauren wasn't really a form. Lauren's was probably a spreadsheet. So we've got the spreadsheet and we've built it all out here, and we add the formulas and we do everything that we want it to do. Title it, share it, do all of that, and it's just a spreadsheet. But a form is a different animal. A form, also they've got a little drawing program, like a little paint program, but a form is way different. So when we're creating a form, we can say, okay, well, we want it to have a certain look, and then we just start adding questions. So this is more like a survey form. We can require a login. Well, that might be good if we're doing an internal evaluation of something. We might want to make sure that only people that are on the board, can log in to see it. But if it's like an open survey, we can just basically make it public and go from there. So it's it's really a pretty simple way to do things. I'll go into the board documents, and we'll look at what that looks like from our board forms. So our board report form is here, and then the responses are here. So this is what that form looks like when you're building it. And we added the logos. It's going to be familiar to all of you. And then you can go up here and say View Live Form, and so that's what you actually saw when you were filling it out. And then if you want to look at the responses, we go back into the drive. And we can look at the responses. So the responses come in as a spreadsheet. So this is how it works. So it's a great way to gather information, very quickly. You can create a survey and send it out within minutes, and it's very powerful. Now going back just into the main drive. Now let's say we're looking for something. Let's just say we're just in the drive. Then if I'm looking for responses, I can just go up here into the search window and say responses, and you notice how quickly it brings it up. So I say, okay, that's the one I was looking for, and I can click on it and bring it right up. Now, if I wanted to know, for instance, if I wanted to look at something, if I wanted to search for calendar. I can also go up here and click. I can say, well, there's a bunch of calendars, and I'm not sure which one it is. So if I just click on the magnifying glass, it brings me up a list, and then I can say, oh, there it is, and it can give me some idea of what I'm looking for. So another thing that is handy is that I can go in here to see the revision history on any document. And it's going to pop up a window over here on the right-hand side. So we can see, like, for our 18-month calendar, the last time anybody made any changes to it, it was Elias back on July 31st, about middle of the day. But we can see that other things have happened before that. Well, if we want to say, what I really want to revert back to, this one of that where Cindy and Elias were working on it together back on the 14th. Then I can click there and it'll say, do you want to restore this version, or do I just want to look at it? No, I just want to look at it. I don't want to overwrite what Elias did, so I'm not ready to restore this. But I've got it here. I can look at it, and I could even copy it and save it as a different thing. If I just wanted to go back in and take a look at what's changed, and I didn't want to lose that forever, I could easily do that. So that's a pretty handy thing to have around. I was talking a little bit about working with different things in the drive. So here's a good example. If I go in and I open this 18-month calendar, it is a Google document. So I can go in here and make changes in here, and it's no problem. But also, somebody else could be in here. We could be working on it together, and going, well, you can't do that, in a Word document. You can't, you can do track changes, you can do a lot of things, but you can't have, 5 people in the same thing saying, okay, you take January, I'll take March, let's get this thing updated and out of the way. You just don't have the opportunity of doing that. But in Excel, like in a Word document or in Excel. So, but here is a Word doc. You notice the icon's a little bit different. Here's a Word doc. For me, if I'm going to do anything with this, if I click on it, instead of opening it to be able to work on it, it opens in preview mode. So now I'm able to preview it. I mean, I can see what's there. I can go up here and I can say I can download it. I can share it. I can print it. I can even open it with Google Docs and convert it to a Google Docs document at that time. So, but I can't work on it here. If I really wanted to work on it and then save it back as an Excel or as a Word document or sort of a Microsoft document, I would have to go here and download it, open the downloaded version, and then drag it back into the folder when I was done. So that's why I say it's just if you get into the habit of starting off in Google Docs, you'll find that probably 95% of the things that you want to do, you can do in Google Docs, and then we'll have it. It'll be easy to edit. It'll be easy to collaborate on. You can download it as a Word document or as a PDF or anything else that you need to do if you want to do it. And it just makes it a little bit easier down the road. And remember, this is the central repository for all things around the chapter, so that the board that comes on next year or the year after that or the year after that will have access to all this information. You notice that I've got the drive. We've got a basic format here. Everyone basically shares this drive. And we have board documents and board retreats and events. There's one executive committee that is just shared with the executive committee. So if you're a director, you might not see that folder. You shouldn't see that folder, because it's not shared with you. There may be a communications folder out there that's not shared with the entire group. It may be just Karen's committee, and they're working on some things, and it's just it's not necessarily relevant to everybody, but it's still part of the drive. So that's all about sharing. A couple of other things you can do. Let me find something that's got I'll go into the logos. Okay, so I can, this is the list view. If I want to look at it by image, I go up here to the right-hand corner and I go from list view to grid view, and then I can see the actual images. If I'm up here in the list view and I want to sort by the last one modified, I can just click at the top and it will do that. If I want to sort by owner, I can do that. I can sort by ones last edited by me. I can sort by title. I can select all and move them to another folder if I want to get everything organized, or I can get out of there and just say I need this logo, the long logo with the tree. That's let's say that's an old logo. I want to move that. I can just by clicking and moving. I can also just pick it up and drag it into a folder. So very handy, easy to use. It takes a little practice. I mean, we do ask that you get in there and use it and really try to make it happen. And once you do, not only you'll find it easy to use, I think, but you will be leaving a legacy for the other people in the chapter that follow you in your position. So that's pretty much what we had on the outline. If there are any questions, this would be a good time to ask. If you are live on the program, just unmute yourself and speak up. You will come on screen. Quiet group, or you're typing in the chat window. Let me look at the chat and see what we got. Yeah, Lauren doesn't have a microphone on her work computer. She said, how do you add folders on the email? How do you add folders on the email? I'm not exactly sure what you're at. Can you clarify that, Lauren?
I think she's talking about labels.
Oh, labels. Okay, good call.
Labels and archive versus track.
Yeah. Okay, so you can, like, if we want, you notice that this one is not labeled. If I open up, let me find one that I'm not messing with somebody else's something. So here's please complete, board report. So if I wanted to, save this away. Now this, remember that I know it looks similar. If you look over here on the left-hand side, your inbox organization looks very similar to your drive organization, but it's not. So drive is, oh, you're not seeing that. Sorry, I don't have the screen share on. But if you click back and forth between your drive and your inbox, you'll notice that on the left-hand margin, they're similar in organization, but when you have something that's in your inbox, then it just handles things a little bit differently. So this is only for email, and Drive is only for files and folders. But but you can organize it pretty much the same. So this particular email, I want to add a label called board communications. So I label it. That actually creates what we know of as a folder. And so I say, create that new, and it's going to say, do I want this somewhere? Yeah, well, I want this nested. I want to nest this under, and I'm just going to tab over. I want to nest this under, board of directors. All I have to do is really type BOA, and it pops it up. And I just can create that, and then it will become a folder under board of directors, and then I can drag things into it whenever I want. There's also an icon, in your inbox that looks like a folder. Well, that's move to. So I can take a document, I can take an email, and move it to an existing label or folder on my in my inbox. So hope that answered your question, Lauren. If there are any other questions, go ahead. Otherwise, we will wrap this one up. Again, I want to encourage you to call us or email us or hang out with us. Ben and Leighton and I, and really any of the AMI team, are more than happy to walk you through some of these basic functions, just to make your life a little bit easier as you're dealing with these things. And usually in a one-on-one hangout, it takes 5 minutes to master any of these functions. But if you're having trouble even creating a new document, if you're having trouble with inserting or managing the process, one of us is almost always available and happy to help. I mean, we do stay pretty busy. I mean, we are, it's like, as has been pointed out, we do have a couple of other clients besides MPI, thank goodness. Business is good, and we stay busy, but most of these things are a 3 to 10-minute call and can be solved real quickly, and then it just makes your life so much easier down the road. So thank you everybody for participating. This will be available on our YouTube channel. We'll send the link out to that, and you'll be able to view that one. Plus the 2 other trainings we've done basically on your drive, which might be a good one for you to review, Lauren, with your question about creating labels. So basically your inbox and mail. And then we also did one on calendar function, which is also a nice feature of Google Apps. So until next time, which is, let me see, next time we're going to do groups and contacts. So we'll be doing that within the next week or so. And have a great weekend. I hope you learned a couple of things, and we'll see you next time.